Hey, this is Mike, and welcome to the One-Stop Co-op Shop. Today we're looking at the latest game in the Valiant Defense series from DVG, designed by David Thompson. This is Lanzerath Ridge. I previously covered all three of the games in this series, Pavlov's House, Soldiers and Postmen's Uniforms, and Castle Litter. And now they sent me a prototype of this one. So these are all prototype components you're going to see. This one should be on Kickstarter right now as you watch, and like for the other videos I've done for the series, I'm going to show you a partial playthrough, maybe the first attack wave, so you see the basics, and then I'll give my thoughts on how the game is playing. And two quick disclaimers. First, as always, we never accept any compensation for our Kickstarter coverage. I'm just doing this to help you make an informed decision. And also, David Thompson, the designer, is a friend of mine. I'm going to try to avoid any bias, but just put that out there. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, lots of ways to support us. First of all, you can support us through our Patreon, and we've now started doing exclusive content over there, at least 2 pieces of exclusive content every month, top 10 lists, and extra podcasts, lots of fun things. You can also listen to our weekly podcast, as I just mentioned, our separate streaming channel, and you can join us and talk on our Discord, open to everyone. But let's jump right in and try out Lanzerath Ridge. So this is a very wide board, and again, it's a prototype, so like the pieces don't quite fit together. I'm busting out my plexiglass from my old wargaming days to press the board down. Very fun to use that. But of course, the final version will have a mounted board. And this game is based on the Battle of Lanzerath Ridge, where 18 US soldiers held off about 550 German soldiers for about a day at the beginning of the Battle of the Bulge. And we're probably not going to do nearly that well, but we'll try our best. So the basic idea of the game is you're going to have an enemy phase where you'll draw 3 cards from one of these attack decks, and there are 4 of these in the game, and whenever you fully run through one, that's the end of the attack wave. You'll get to kind of lick your wounds and regroup and move your people around. The enemies will go away for a little bit, and if you can survive all 4 attack waves, go through all 4 full decks of cards, you win. But on each attack turn, you're going to draw 3 of these cards, resolving them. Most will place enemy units on these tracks, and they'll advance towards the woods where your troops are situated. If they can get in there and stay in there for an entire round, you don't kick them out. You lose the game. They have breached your defenses. And additionally, if you want to kick things up a notch, which I'm going to, you can use the tactics cards to add some variety and difficulty. I'm going to play on veteran difficulty where you have just 1 tactics card per round. After each enemy phase, I'll get to put down 5 action tokens, activating 5 of my units. Some actions, generally the most powerful ones like attacking, will exhaust a unit. And barring special powers being used, that means that they are out for the rest of the attack phase. They can't help out at all for this entire wave. But other actions are minor actions like moving, and they don't exhaust the unit. It just means they can only do 1 of them a turn. You can't put an action token on 1 person more than once per round. And to help the defenders out, they've got some special things going on. They've got grenade booby traps waiting to blow up the first German that gets too close. They've got barbed wire the Germans have to clear and get past. They've got in-place machine guns. They can move around and mow down lots of enemies. Each of those having their own ammo supply you have to manage. And they've also got an artillery jeep, an M2 mounted jeep, a radio jeep. They can use this to call for intelligence to get more victory points if you win the game. And the artillery can smash the Germans and clear out some of the cards so you get through the attack wave faster. And like I said, you win if you survive all 4 rounds. You lose if a German unit ever stays in one of your spaces at the end of the round. Or every time you lose a unit, you lose 1 morale. Also, if you go into the end of a wave with too many units disrupted, you'll lose morale. And if that ticks down to 0, you have given up. All right, those are some of the basics of the game. Let's jump into our attack wave and see how we do. So like I said, I'm playing on veteran difficulty. I'm going to use 1 tactics card, and then I'm going to deal 3 attacker cards. This one says frequency jamming. This round, you cannot take a radio intelligence major action. So we can't try to advance the intelligence track, but I'm probably not going to anyway since we're just playing 1 attack wave and victory points don't matter to me, so that'll be a null card. Then we flip the first enemy card. This one is going to place a machine gunner. The first time you draw one of these, it'll place the machine gun, in this case, machine gun C. If I draw a machine gun C card again, it'll instead shoot at one of our positions and disrupt our units, possibly kill them. But here, and this is one of the casualties of the board not connected correctly, there should be a square here for C. Instead, it's like a rectangle of sadness. And there's machine gun 42. And this little value here, 7, is its cover value. It's defense if we try to attack it. We'll get to that on my first action phase, probably. Second card is the most common card in the game. That is an assault. In this case, we're going to place a leader. And for most of these assault cards, it'll have you roll a die to determine where they go. But in this case, it just says number 1. Let's look at what that means. So each of the defensive positions has a number and a shape. So like here's a 1 square, a 2 square. And for 1 through 6 square, which are kind of like the main tracks that we'll see at least in this attack wave, you've got a track for 1 and 2. So it kind of goes here and stays together, and then it splits off towards the 1 and 2 spaces. Same thing for 3 and 4, same thing for 5 and 6 on the east. So here it says Assault 1, which means I put the leader here, but he bumps anybody there, forward 1 space, and they bump anybody there, forward 1 space, and so on and so forth, until they reach the barbed wire. They can go over that and clear it away for the entire attack wave if they either have a leader on the track, so here they're ready to just like walk right past that thing, or if they build up 3 units in front of it in a stack, and then a 4th one comes in, and then the entire stack will start moving forward. But either way, this track is already in a bit of danger. And now we get a regular assault with a 1 value rifleman. The value is just how much damage they do if they finally get into your position. Besides that, it doesn't really matter. So we don't want to roll a 1 or 2 or the Germans will already take out our barbed wire here. Come on, 3 through 6, C through 6. Yay, 3. All right, so that's going to be over here in the middle track. This guy will push each of them. So they're also in front of the barbed wire, but without a leader, they won't be able to do much yet. And that's it for the enemy phase, just 3 cards. Now we get to do 5 actions for our guys. Now this track is my most in danger track, so let's talk about attacking. First, you need to know about line of sight. Zooming in a bit, each of the enemy spaces has a value and 1 or more shapes. So here we've got a 4 and a brown square. And the brown square matches up with the defender spaces. So anybody with a brown square has line of sight. So these guys have both an orange hexagon and a brown square, so they could still see that enemy. But the units up here, Preston and Jenkins, they're kind of around the corners, so they have just the orange hexagon. And while they could shoot anyone over here, they don't have line of sight to any of these units to attack them. Now, the value, like I said, is the cover. Each of the defenders has an attack value. It's the type of die they roll. So a D8, or there are some D6s or 2 D6s, and then the machine guns get into D10s and D12s. So when you attack, if you have line of sight, you roll the indicated die. Sometimes you'll get a bonus die if you have a leader there to inspire you. And if at least one of the dice equals or exceeds the defense value, that unit is removed. And you'll see there are some lines. This is to kind of represent range. So if somebody over here crosses a line to attack someone over here, even if they still have line of sight, they get +1 to the enemy's cover value because they're shooting so far away. So for our first action, even though it's a tough shot and maybe not that likely, I think I'm going to have somebody try to shoot the leader. Because if I can take them out, then the rifleman will just kind of build up in front of the barbed wire instead of breaking through right away. So I'm going to have McConnell shoot with his D8. And Dustman here has a star, and the color banner is the same as McConnell's. That means he's the leader of McConnell's squad. So McConnell will get an extra die for free when he attacks, but Dustman would not give that to himself. And by the way, the basic attack action is a major action, which means it's going to exhaust that unit. And they cannot do anything for the rest of this entire first attack wave unless they are unexhausted. Only 2 ways to do that. There are units from C Squad, like Queen, that have this A ability, Assist. They can take a major action exhausting themselves to unexhaust somebody else. And then over on the right flank of the battle, I have 2 units with the C command trait. They can unexhaust 3 people in their space or adjacent. But enough about that. Let's see how my 2d8 Hail Mary attack goes. I need a 7. Take out this leader. Yes! That paid off. So with the leader gone, unless they get another leader, they're going to have to build up a ton of riflemen to actually do anything over here. All right, and with that, I'm actually thinking, why don't I move Dustman over here to Krieger and Adams, since they're all in the same squad. Now, they can't benefit from his inspiration skill while he has an action on him, so they'll have to wait until next turn to get the bonus. But now we have some nice boosted attack options if they go into this track again. And kind of along the same lines, this is one of my machine guns. Right now I can only shoot in orange, and orange is actually not in play in the first attack wave. There's no way they can advance along these tracks, although they can get a machine gun here. So a minor action does not exhaust somebody is to take apart one of the machine guns, and now if one of these guys walks with it, they can bring it with them. So let's go ahead and have Preston do that. And he has the M letter, which means he's allowed to shoot a machine gun. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I just realized Dustman can boost the machine gun fire, so let's leave him there instead of moving him so early. All right, how about over here? Should we take a shot on this guy who just advanced? James over here would have a pretty easy time doing it because Bauk or Book, I don't know how to say his last name, he has inspiration for anybody since he's one of the commanders. So James would roll 2d8 against like this rifleman with a 4, or I forgot about this machine gun. We could even have Milosevic just start blasting with the machine gun to try to take that thing out before it hits us. But it hasn't done anything yet. Let's wait on that. So yeah, let's have James take a 2d8 attack on this 4 value rifleman while they're in front of that barbed wire. Okay, so we need a 4, and ooh, got it. Okay, we got 1 action left. This is one I like to do a lot. Springer has the RA trait. That means that he can call in artillery. So for every minor action, I get to place one of these little radio tokens here. And for a major action in the future, which would exhaust him, I can discard them all, roll that many d6s, and if I get at least 1, 5, or 6, I get to trash 3 of the cards from the deck, basically steal an entire turn from the enemies and make them a lot less likely to break through. All right, nice first turn. I cut the enemy down fairly well. Let's see what they do now. Okay, the new tactic is an assault. If I place a submachine gunner, which is a value 2 enemy, I get a second one in the same location. and then they kind of advance as a stack. That's not great. So let's hope we don't draw any of those. First card, Machine Gun A, we'll place that. Second card, rolling for a Rifleman. That's not too big of a deal. And third card, rolling for another Rifleman. As Machine Gun A is over here, it's threatening that space, which I wouldn't mind them shooting at all, but could also blast this entire space if they rolled a 4, 5, or 6 when they attacked, which would need, again, a future card. But that would be nasty if that happened. All right, let's roll for our Rifleman. First, it's a 4, then it's a 3. All right, so the 3 and 4 places us over here. The first one goes here and pushes both of these guys up. And the second one comes in, pushes him up, and this one, they don't have a leader, is going to stack there. They need to get 3 stacked, and then the fourth one will push them past, unless, again, they get a leader that just allows them to go straight over. If I try to shoot this stack, I can only attack the topmost person. So lucky us, they didn't actually get to benefit from that bonus submachine gun card. All right, let's start over here now. I don't like that machine gun staring us down. Let's see, I've got Preston that can shoot it, but right now it's packed up, so it only rolls a D8, no better than his regular attack. Let's have Queen take a minor action to put it back together, and now Preston can take a major action to actually gun people down, and Dustman's going to boost him because they're from the same squad. And how machine guns work, this one only has 2 ammo loaded. The M2 and the M1919s on the other flank have much better capabilities, and I can spend as much ammo as I want, and each ammo allows me to roll 1d10, and I can split it up, so I can do an attack here with 1 ammo, and then I can attack them again if they didn't die, or shoot somebody else. If I have one of the bigger machine guns, I could keep on doing attacks, and I can spend as much ammo as I want to roll more dice on each one. And each individual attack's going to get plus 1d10 from the inspiration. So if I shoot with only 1 ammo here, I get to roll 2 dice. But there's 3 negatives to using your machine guns. First of all, you run out of ammo and it never comes back. You can reload your guns. You've got a little bit of backup ammo, basically 2 full clips for each gun. But once that's gone, you can't use them anymore. Number 2, if you make additional attacks in the same action, each one gives plus 1 cover for how many attacks you've done. So if I had a machine gun that shot 3 times, the second attack would give a plus 1 cover bonus, the third attack would give a plus 2 cover, so it gets tougher to hit. And finally, if you ever shoot with more than 3 ammo, you roll a d6 for each ammo you went over, and if any die shows a 1, the machine gun overheats and is destroyed. Not a danger for this M1918, it can only shoot 2 ammo, and my first shot, I'm going to take the tough one before they get the cover bonus and try to blow up this machine gun. I get 2d10, need a 7 or higher. All right, I already got 1 great roll, give me another one, give me another one. Oh, it was like an 8 and then a 2 and then a 6. Okay, so I missed. No, 10, you're too late. I could shoot again with my second ammo, but then I need an 8 instead of a 7. I think I should probably shoot at this Rifleman. Yeah, okay, I'll shoot at the Rifleman. I'll play the safe choice. So now with the plus 1 bonus, he's a 5 instead of a 4. There's a 9. That would have killed the machine gun. Whatever, I got him. And sadly, that machine gun has to stop shooting. It's literally out of ammo. One of the units there could take a minor action to reload it. It's got 4 shots left, but we're not going to do that yet. We got more guys building up here. I could send someone back to shoot the M2. Rolls a D12, but it rolls against the higher purple hexagon defense values, and it has kind of a more limited range of fire. I could send someone back and spend a bunch of actions to unpack it and then bring it over here. Don't know if that's worth it. Maybe for this turn, I'll just play it safe. So Wibbin and Gaki are more of these people that can unexhaust other units, so I can kind of move them out to help. And then Khalil and Raman over here are in the worst spot in the game. They only have line of sight to black triangle spaces, which is just here. And this track, again, is not even in play in the first attack wave. So I'm going to bring one of them, Khalil, over to here, where he can actually get line of sight to useful places. All right, that's it for us. Let's see what the enemy has in store. Ooh, coordinated attack. When I do a regular Rifleman card, do a second Rifleman as well. Yeesh. I'm glad I just got 2 Rifleman cards. We lucked out because that would have doubled their effect. Okay, first we're going to place a 3. Then we're going to place a leader on 6. Darn it. And then we're going to, activate the machine gun on A. Okay, so let's go in order. So the 3 attack guys going on a 1, which is right here. No one to push yet. The leader was automatically on the 6 track, but they have not advanced past the barbed wire yet. So maybe I'll try to get a lucky shot on him as well, though. So I got this machine gun to attack. And speaking of machine guns, oh gosh. This is what I didn't want to happen. I'm so sad I missed this guy. If he rolls a 1 to 3, he's shooting him. Who cares? If he rolls a 4 to 6, he's shooting here, which could be devastating for me. And yes! So how it works is wherever they attack, you roll 1d6 for each unit there. And you're hoping they don't equal or exceed their defense value. Because if they do, they get disrupted, and if they're already disrupted, they are dead and you lose 1 morale. And disruption has several effects. First of all, if someone's disrupted, the only action they can take, it's a minor action, is to get rid of the disruption, so it kind of takes your options away. Number 2, like I said, if they get hit again, they're killed. Number 3, if you end the attack wave with them disrupted, you lose 1 morale per unit disrupted. And number 4, if they're an inspiring person, they can't inspire anybody. So it's just kind of crappy overall. But let's see if they actually disrupt him. Yes. But still not too bad. They definitely picked the wrong position to shoot at. And once again, we lucked out for the tactic card. Dodged it having any effect. All right, do I use an action? Yeah, I don't want Jenkins to get surprise killed. So let's go ahead and recover him. This track is the one I'm the most worried about. And I've got a machine gun there. Okay, let's try this out. We'll do another machine gun. This is the M1919 this time. Milosevic has the M keyword, and Slape is one of our commanders. He will boost anybody's attack except another inspirational character. And the M1919 has 5 bullets loaded, so I could go crazy and overheat if I wanted to. But it's the first attack wave. It's a pretty terrible idea to overheat and lose one of your machine guns. So I'm just going to shoot 3 bullets, I think. First one, I could go against the machine gun and try to get a 7 or higher again out of 2d10. Then I can go against the leader for my second shot, also need a 7 or higher. I could go for the leader first, need a 6 or higher, but then the machine gun would be an 8 or higher, would be very difficult to make happen. Let's try going for the more hopeful route and go for a 7 out of 10 both times. So 7 out of 10 here for my first shot. Again, 1 ammo plus 1 from the inspiration. Come on! Dang it! 1 short. Now I'll shoot the leader, also needing a 7 out of 10. Because this is my second shot, and I'm getting less accurate. Yeah, there we go. So once again, my barbed wire is going to help me out. Now, I could do another shot, although it would be +2, but why not while I'm here, right? So this rifleman, instead of needing a 4, will need a 6. But I still got 2 dice, and what is that? Nope. And that will exhaust Milosevic until he gets commanded back into tip-top shape, I guess. And I only fired 3 shots, and I don't have to roll for overheating. Not much luck getting rid of these machine guns, but so far everything else is going pretty well. I still got this double rifleman stack over here. Should I shoot that? Sure, let's have Fancher over here with a D8 attack, the one on top with 4 needed. Better than 50% odds, and except when we roll that. Darn it. All right, let's have Springer get some more radio contact. Maybe Redmond come down in case we need support. All right, let's see what happens next. Assault. We're going to double up 3s if we place any. Let's see if we do. Leader on 5, don't like that. Oh no, I'm going to activate the C machine gun and then roll to place a 2. Okay, so once again, we dodged the tactic. Okay, so leader on 5, they just keep on coming, but Sullivan breached the barbed wire, but then an attack by machine gun C. On a 1 to 3, they're going there, on a 4 to 6 there. Sorry guys, I just moved you into danger. And okay, so this is actually great. Both these guys have 6 defense. They're like among my best soldiers, so probably nothing's going to happen. Are you kidding me? Okay, so Slate, my commander, is disrupted. And not the other guy, although it was close. Those rolls for me, not for them game. And finally, I'm rolling to place a 2-value soldier, hopefully not on a 5 or a 6. Not a 5 or 6. Not a 5. Okay. That is over here. So they still have not breached anything, and they'll start building up, I guess. Well, first things first, I definitely cannot lose my best unit in the entire game, so let's recover him. Actually, speaking of recovering, instead of having Balk attack, let's have him do a command action. So I get to fully recover 3 units in his space or adjacent. So we'll get James back and Milosevic back for more machine gunning and Fancher back. And I could have Khalil or Redmond try to shoot maybe the leader who needs a 6 again. They got a chance. Ooh, and I didn't realize Redmond is the leader of Khalil's squad. So Khalil will actually have 2d8. So yeah, let's go for the leader, not the machine gun. Okay, so need a 6 or higher. Come on. Wow, that's bad. All right, well, we'll deal with that one later. Thinking I might want to fire the machine gun. Oh, it's not even loaded. I only have 2 actions. Well, just to prep for next turn, let's have Queen take an assist action to get Preston, our machine gunner, back. And then, yeah, we'll have one of these guys loaded up with 2 more bullets. Not accomplish as much as I would have liked there. What do we got? Cover. Oh, no. +1 to defense values for all the enemies this round? That's not good if they advance. We're placing a 1, placing the B machine gun, but it won't shoot yet. And placing the A square machine gun. Okay, so 2 machine guns not firing and rolling for a 1 unit. We've got every machine gun out on the board, and the nasty thing is, while all the regular units go away, machine guns stay in place if you haven't destroyed them before the attack wave ends. Where's our value 1 guy going? 4? Well, that's good and bad. They didn't go where the leader was. They're not going to break through, but we now have 3 guys in this stack, which means the next one will actually push that huge stack in. Yeah, that's not great. We've got 3 more rounds left, although if we get artillery to go off successfully, we'll only have 2 more rounds to survive. So I've got 5 actions and some dangerous tracks, but everyone has +1 defense this round, which makes it pretty dumb to attack. Maybe let's do some more safety plays. We can have Milosevic reload the M1919, call him for more artillery, of course. Maybe now I can bring Dustman over to boost Krieger and Adams attacking in this track. Although I don't want to move anybody else in case the machine guns focus fire on me. And okay, I can afford like one attack, right? You got so many guys over here. Let's have Fort do a D8 attack against this guy needing a 5. Yay! Hey, we got it. That was good. All right, come on. This one's really bad. We resolve an MG42 card, suppressive fire, roll 2 dice rather than 1 against each defender. Yeah, that's not great. Hopefully we won't get any machine guns. Okay, gonna roll to place a 2. Roll to place a 3. Oh my gosh, and place a leader on 4. No. Okay, so the 2's going on 3. That's the same place the leader is going. And the 3's going on 2. Okay, the 2's going on 3. Oh gosh. Yep, there's already 3 guys there. So they break through and they go in the 3 direction. And then the 3's going on the 2 track. That one's fine. But then the leader goes on 4, which actually sort of works okay for us because they split instead of actually taking out my grenades. But this is not good. If they advance, the grenade will only kill one of them. The other 2 will be in here basically massacring my guys, and if they stay in there, they win the round. So we got lucky in that no machine guns activated, but this is bad. Okay, we've only got 6 cards left, so if we do artillery, we'll take out half of the cards remaining, but we could still lose the game from the other half. All right, so let's try to get some fire here. Why is everyone exhausted on this side of the track? Okay, Fancher, go ahead and do a D8 attack against this guy with only a 3 in front of you. I know I've been rolling a lot of 1s and 2s. 3 or higher. You can do that, Mike. There we go. That's 1 out of 3. And Wibben could unexhaust him, but I don't think we have time. Let's have him shoot with a D6. He's not as good, but against a 3 might be enough. And then I actually think, even though it's long range, crossing over the +1, I'm going to have Milosevic shoot the machine gun that's freshly loaded, Slape boosting him. So we've got up to 5 ammo if we need it, but I don't think we do. We'll just probably do 1, 2, and stop there, because even though I'm only going to show 1 attack wave, I want to pretend that I'm playing the whole game. So we'll do this one first. Need a 3 +1 for crossing over. 4 on 2 dice, thanks to Slade's boost. Yes. And then for the second attack, we need +1, a +2 for second attack. A 5. And yes, got it. All right. That makes things look a lot better over there. And I realize not much need to have Springer try to do the artillery this turn. Since we have 2 sets of cards left, let's add a last token. And then next turn, if he succeeds, they won't draw any more cards because there won't be any left. So we'll just finish out a defender phase and then end the wave immediately. All right, I've got 1 action left. Let's have Slape. Did I call him Slade? Let's have him unexhaust this guy. I can't unexhaust another commander. And this guy, in case we get the chance to do some final attacks in the last round. And those final attacks will, of course, focus on machine guns, assuming the artillery works, because that'll be the only thing we have to worry about staying around. Okay, moment of truth. Sapper support. This turn, they ignore fences. I feel like everywhere they would advance, they would have ignored fences anyway, so that might be okay. Okay, and first, placing a leader on 2, so they will advance. Then rolling to place a 2-value guy. I hope they don't roll the same spot. And then activating machine gun A. Okay, let's see how this goes. So first, the leader goes on 2. They don't need the sappers. They're advancing through and taking away this anyway. It does come back in the next wave, but clearly that won't help if we're already dead. Okay, then we're rolling for a value 2 guy. Just don't roll a 2 and we won't lose a grenade, and then I don't really care. Come on. 6, that's fine. I mean, not entirely fine. They did break through the last fence with the leader there, but still, it's okay. Now the machine gun's going to fire at 1 or 2. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Neither one is great, although the defense value is slightly better here, so let's hope for a 1, 2, or 3. And yes, we got it. All right, so I'm going to roll for a 5, then a 3, then a 4. Okay, so 5 defense. Gosh darn it, he's disrupted. 4 defense, disrupted. And 3 defense. Wow, 6, 6, 6. Come on. So if I don't spend actions to recover these guys, I would lose a morale for each of them and go down 3 of my 5 morale. But first, let's see the most important thing. Can Springer call on the artillery successfully and basically end the wave a little bit early? We're going to roll 46. We need a 5 or a 6. I got some extra dice because they only sent me 2. Come on. 5 or 6. Yes! Oh, there we go. Double. So that means that there are no more attack cards to be drawn. We are basically safe. So with our 4 actions remaining, we could either save our guys or try to shoot at some machine guns. I think avoiding the morale is the most important. But then we get 1 shot. Does anybody have a commander to make it more likely? Yes. Adams and Krieger are both with Dustman. So let's have one of them do a 2d8 attack against this machine gun right here. So they need a 7 or an 8. Boom! One final little stroke of luck to close out the wave. And again, that's because the final 3 attack guards got artilleried away. So let me talk through what would happen at the end of this wave. Every circular enemy unit would go away, and then we'd kind of refill the same as we had at the start with about 2 or 3 guys on each of the tracks. All our units would become unexhausted. We would freely get to move them around. We couldn't freely move the machine guns around, but we can choose whether they are built up or not, so we can make them easier to move quickly. The only place we can't put units are on the 3 jeeps, and we're required to put our 3 radio people in the log cabin, where I guess they're like, I don't know, talking to base or something before the next German attack. All our guns would get automatically reloaded, and then we basically go into it. And each attack wave adds some new stuff, like Wave 2, first of all, has the flanks in play, so they start having more units spread out more, and they have mortars that can blow up your vehicles, so like the radios won't work anymore, as well as making other things tougher and hitting your units. And yeah, that's how things go. I've only managed to survive the whole game once. It's very tough, especially with the tactics cards. But let's get into some of my thoughts on this game, how it compares to the other entries in the series, and just what I think of it overall. So yeah, I really enjoy this one. It actually reminds me most of the latest entry in the series, the last one I covered, which is Soldiers and Postmen's Uniform, in that they have this idea of ammo. It's more granular here in that like each machine gun has a certain amount of ammo, whereas in Soldiers and Postmen's Uniform, you kind of had like just a few ammo tokens for suppressive fire. So it's kind of even more interesting here, but I like the resource management. And the machine guns are so powerful, but the fear of them blowing up is also very powerful for you and kind of forcing you to be careful with them. The fear of running out of ammo, it gets crazy in Wave 3 and 4 when you don't have the machine guns to save your butt. And I love just like kind of walking the fire and hitting lots of units, kind of the risk reward of choosing how much you shoot at each person. So yeah, even though they were cool, the ammo management in Soldiers and Postmen's Uniform, I really like it here. I think the machine guns are a great new addition to the system and really cool thing. I also really like the defense values and line of sight. Now, I've always loved how David Thompson does line of sight, how it's all kind of like icon and shape and color based, and you can see at a glance in a way that makes logical sense. But I love here how the units get easier to hit as we get closer. First of all, it thematically makes sense, but second of all, it gives a really nice push your luck feel because you kind of want to let them get right on these spaces, and then you can easily shoot them. They're just so close, you can see the whites of their eyes. But obviously, if you get too many cards drawn for the same track at the same time, whoops, you know, you can make some bad choices, and the luck can play against you if you push your luck too much. So I like that a lot. I think it's even a nicer way than I've seen before with the line of sight and the defense values. Something else I think is very cool in the system, but might rub some people the wrong way, is the new way exhaustion works. So in previous games, you could basically spend an action on somebody to unexhaust them, and they'd be available the next round. But now, as you saw, exhaustion, except for the A abilities and except for the commanders, is permanent for the entire attack wave. So like if you have 3 or 4 people shoot on a flank and miss, then you can really be in a bad way, and you have to like spend a lot of actions just moving your people over there to support that flank. And this is both great, because it adds a lot of attention, it makes each choice feel more agonizing, it makes each roll more exciting, but it can also kind of, I think, potentially exacerbate the feeling of randomness in the game, which is already very much there. This is clearly a very random game. Like you saw, sometimes the tactics did nothing because I just randomly didn't draw the matching cards. And sometimes I rolled the exact wrong or the exact right track for the enemies to attack me, and I would roll the right or wrong attack. So the fact that your guys get kind of like almost permanently exhausted for the wave, and that you can leave yourself undefended on a flank if you have a series of bad rolls because you can't get those guys back very easily, I think that could exacerbate the tension for some people and the excitement, good side, but it could also exacerbate the feeling of randomness and swinginess and that like you suddenly lost the wave because of some bad luck. So just something to be aware of, especially if you are kind of luck averse. I also think it's important to be aware of that the game will play out fairly similarly. Now, in Lanzerath Ridge's favor, David Thompson has designed more variants than I've seen in the other games, in that you can have more units or fewer units or different units. So you can actually kind of change up your defensive composition, which I think would make the game feel very different. It also gives you more granularity to the difficulty. Like you can play with more units and more machine guns, but also harder tactics. So you kind of keep the game the same, but add more variety. So that's a very good thing. But that being said, especially the first wave is still going to feel somewhat samey. The second wave, like the cards come out in the same way. The tactics will vary things up, but still like you always know in the first attack wave that no one's going to be on the left or the right. And that's fine, but it's just something to be aware of, and I've said this for all the games in the series. It's very important to David Thompson to have historical accuracy. I think that's amazing. Like this is something I never knew about, and reading about this battle and playing this game has been kind of an eye-opening experience for me in this part of history. but it does mean that the battle is going to tend to play out the same way. It's not like a tank is going to suddenly roll out just to make the game have more variety in it. So you'll sometimes find yourself, especially in Wave 1, I think it's most prevalent. Wave 2 and Wave 3 will play out a bit differently because the grenades will be gone in different places, or your ammo will be low in different places, so kind of the picture will change. But certainly in that first attack wave, you'll often find yourself moving the same people around, doing the same things, because the units all start in their historically accurate spots, so they're kind of like in the same situation every time. So just be aware that the early game might feel a bit samey each time, although again, the varied scenario options, the way the cards come out, and the tactics cards can change that quite a bit. So it's not too big of a deal, but I just think, again, this is not like a game with infinite variety and like 50 different setups. This is a historical battle being represented, so that might not work for everybody. There you go, that was Lanzerath Ridge. Go check out the Kickstarter page, see what you think, and check out our Patreon for some exclusive videos. Like I said, I'm doing a top 10 list. This month it's, what is it? It's top 10 games that I like for some reason, but everything about me and my game preferences says I shouldn't. So that'll be fun. We're also going to have a podcast. I think we're doing our top horror movies to go along with our Final Girl review. That'll be a little bonus thing as well. Check out our streaming channel, our podcast, our Discord, all that fun stuff. And thank you everybody for watching. We will see you at the next stop.